Okay, back again. It's Taylor with Travel Tips. I mentioned in my last video about third-party vendors for flights, and there can be some issues. So let me tell you a little bit about that if you're not aware of it. First, a lot of times you won't get the frequent flyer miles that you will if you go direct or through a code share. So that's something to keep in mind if you do travel a lot and those miles matter to you. I always do try to fly partner airlines as much as possible. Certainly I'm traveling to Morocco a lot. I have a frequent flyer number with Royal Air Morocco, but it's an American partner. It's a One World partner. So I often don't take those miles with Royal Air Morocco. I'll take them with American or another airline within that group that I also fly. The other thing that I think is more important than the miles is schedules and what happens. What happens, and we all have suffered this. Flights delayed, flights canceled, flights rerouted to another city. I have more problem flying domestically with these issues than I do internationally, but it can happen anywhere in the world at any time. And when you book through a third party, you're not going to get as much assistance if you have one of these issues. If your flight is late departing, you miss your connection, then you've got to get rebooked. It becomes more difficult through a third party than it does if you're booking through an airline or airline partners. So when you're looking at price, that might be one thing to consider, is how protected are you going to be in a situation where there is a flight issue or you get stranded somewhere due to a cancellation, mechanical or whatever. And as I mentioned before, I haven't really found that much of a great price break with the third party vendors. And even when you book with points through, for example, Capital One or Chase or any number of the banks where you're just getting points for your purchases, that's still considered a third party. And I had a schedule change having bought a ticket through Capital One once, and really I sweated all the way through until I got that flight and then got home, because the window had narrowed and I was worried about missing that flight, and there wasn't another one, and I pretty much got, well, that's kind of your problem, you'll have to try to work it out with the airline, which if I'd gone directly to the airline, it would have, I think, been a little bit nicer approach, and luckily I didn't have a crisis. So anyhow, that's just a little bit about issues to be aware of with third-party vendors when you're booking your flight. All right, bye.